Let's say that this box represents all of George's books. And we know that some of those books are fiction books. So I guess inside this circle, all the fiction books. Outside this circle are all the non-fiction books. And there's another group as well. We know that some of his books are fiction, and some of them are... Actually, what should I call this other circle? And I just ask that because I've seen a lot of time and points lost when people do the very sort of tempting and reasonable thing, which is call this fiction and then say, okay, well then this is non-fiction. But this actually doesn't match the logic of the picture, right? If this is fiction and this is non-fiction, well then what does this little middle section mean? It doesn't make any sense, right? Because I can't be both fiction and non-fiction. So when you're using the Venn diagram method, well then your picture suggests that these two groups overlap, so we need to label things that can overlap. So if I call this fiction, then this will be the other trait. Let's call this the hardcover books. And now it makes sense, but now that middle section will be the hardcover fiction books. And, well, I guess all the sections of this picture make sense now, right? This crescent sort of area, the rest of the fiction circle, those will be well, they're still in the fiction circle, but they're out of this circle, so they are fiction paperbacks. And then this crescent will be hardcover nonfiction, and what's out here? Well, that's in neither circle, right? So these will be nonfiction, non-hardcover, or nonfiction paperbacks. So what else do we know from the stem? George has a total of B books. Well, we said that this box represents all of his books, and we've got sections for every kind of book George might have. So our B I'll put right there. And remind myself that this box altogether contains B books. And we also know 25 of which are hardcover fiction books. Hardcover fiction. Well, that's the overlap section, right? That gets part of both circles. And we need enough information to get B. We need enough, I guess if we can fill out every little section here, then we could add up all the numbers to get to B. So let's look at the statements. Statement number 1 tells us that 40 of the books are fiction. So 40 are fiction. All right, so that means this entire circle contains 40 books. And I'm a little bit, I'm a little careful as to where I put that 40. It's kind of tempting to put it here, but I don't like to do that because it kind of looks like it refers to this area. No, our 40 is this whole circle, so I'm going to put my 40 on the edge, just to remind myself that it's the whole circle that has 40, and that 40 is going to come from two sections, right? That 40 comes from this overlap section and this non-overlap section. Actually, we can make a deduction based just on that, right? This 40 comes from this 25 and everything that's out here, so we must have 15 over here. So is this going to be enough to get our B? We might notice, sure, we know enough about this circle, but there's all kinds of stuff outside of this circle we don't know. We don't know the area all the way around, which could be, 1 million or 0 or 50 or whatever. And we don't know this section either. So, and that could be any number also. So all kinds of different numbers for the other sections. So we don't know the value of B. So number 1 is insufficient. So what about statement 2, which we'll consider on its own? Statement 2 on its own. 60 of the books are hardcovers and the rest are paperbacks, so 60 in this circle. So that 60 comes from this section and this section, which means, all right, 60 minus 25 leaves us 35 for this section. And we're in the exact same place as last time, right? I don't know how many are in this section. I don't know how many are in this section, so I don't know the total number of books, so number 2 is insufficient. But if we look at the statements together, looking at the statements together, bringing one back. Let's see. Together we now know, well, we know 3 sections, right? We know that this whole middle area accounts for 75, right? 15 plus 25 plus 35 brings us up to 75 of the books. But there's still this outside section, which could be anything. So B could be, well, anything, I guess, greater than 75, right? It could be whatever this is plus those middle 3 sections. So B still could be, we still don't know what B is, so together insufficient, which means that our answer choice is E.